Good morning. It's cooler out here than it is inside, and the AC's on. 71 inside. Out here, it's just crisp and clean and clear. Ah, that sky, it's amazing. I just love it. A clear, beautiful sky. Sorry for my poor camera techniques. I need my coffee. I'll be right back. So I'm sitting here outside of our humble abode, and Michael cut my hair. I was gonna do it myself yesterday, right? And he says, "Mom, do you want me to help you?" I said, "Well, you've been funny about it, and I don't want to, force the issue or something." And he said, "I'm afraid I'll make things worse." Worse? I said, "What's worse than being bald?" So he cuts my hair. He says, "You want me to leave a little on the top?" I said, "Yeah, give it a feminine touch since, I'm going, you know, Jada Smith." So anyway, is that her name? Whatever. I like it. I like it. It's not as patchy looking as when it starts to grow out. And so he said he'll keep it up for me every 4 weeks, which saves me. The last time I went there, and it's probably gone up because of hyperinflation, it was $11 for a senior cut, and I always lift $5 because I'm for the working girl. So, it cost me $16 for a cut, and that saves me 16 bucks. And I said, "Can I tip you?" He said no. So my youngest daughter's been having trouble in the apartment she rented. It's a funny thing, her roommates were good to her and they were friends, and things have gone really south, and sometimes that's a sign that it's time to move on. But they're really dirty, and she says if I want to cook, I have to do days worth of dishes. The countertops are just filthy. They leave rotted food in the fridge and it smells bad, and they leave the garbage. She said, "Mom, if I didn't do everything, there'd be bags and bags of rotting garbage in the kitchen. There'd be rotted food in the fridge that they never will throw out, and there wouldn't be a dish in the house that's clean." And so the other day, the guy who does kind of like he's kind of the, I don't know what you call it, speaker of the house. And he said to her, "You haven't bought any paper towels and olive oil." She said, "Well, I think we're even because of all the housework I have to do that you people won't do." And he said, "We like it this way." So she had a dream, and she called me. She was very upset, and she was crying, "I don't know what to do. I want to leave." She was going to rent an Airbnb down in North Carolina for a while and get out of there, but she has a steady relationship with a young man from, where is he from? He's in New Jersey too. That she met at her college. He was from another college. I think he went to Long Island. And she's like, I don't know where this relationship is going. He wants me to move in with him when he gets a job. He was delayed in graduation. He has dyslexia, and so with some learning issues, and he had to make up 2 classes that he just couldn't get. And so they worked with him, and he's graduated now, and she wants to stay with him, even though he is a libertarian. and she's a very staunch liberal. I want to say unfortunately, but I know a lot of my viewers are liberals. So we won't say unfortunately. I just wish she'd open her mind to both sides. I mean, I'm willing to hear both sides. I don't always like what I hear, and I don't consider myself either side, though I do lean toward conservative, but that's beside the point. I want to talk about the little bird dream. But I do have some, I do have some agreements with some liberals. It's a tough thing. Life is really, really hard. And I understand a lot of issues, especially surrounding, I don't know. I identify with all family issues. She says, I had a dream the other night about Dad. I said, oh, please tell me about it. Which she was going to anyway, because she knows I put a great deal of value in intuition and dreams. I feel that God and our ancestors talk to us through our dreams. I know I come from a long line of women on my father's side, Kanilopoulos, that are premonitory, we'll call it. We have premonition dreams. We call one of them the death dream. And I've had several. And those people did die. That I had the dream that they were gone. It's beyond the person's death, even though they're still alive when I dream about them. And you're usually like reminiscing and they're gone. And sometimes in my dream, I'm crying, and other times I had the death dream about my husband about 3 years before he died. And I called Rachel because she understands premonitions and intuition and dreams. She's very much on that side of the aisle. And I told her what I dreamt, and I was crying. I said, what am I going to do? He's going to die. And she said, Mom, don't read it that way. You might be wrong. Usually when I dream something like that, they're either already passed and I didn't know it, or they're going to. Anyway, her dream. She said we were at the house I'm at now, where she's renting. I know the house, it's a salt box. I've been there when I visited her. And it is a real poop hole, I gotta tell you. 4 of them pay $7 something a month to live in that hellhole. Never mind. So she says Dad and the whole family were inside the house. She says, and Dad steps outside and he's walking around the yard and he finds a little bird. And he's holding the little bird and he's talking to the little bird. She said, classic Dad. And asking him, what do you need, little bird? Can I get you some food? And he'd pick little things like seeds and stuff off the trees and feed it to the little bird. He put the little bird on his shoulder and walked around, was talking to the little bird. And we talked, Bonnie and I, a little bit more. And then I hung up and I was just, I don't know, doing housework, the dishes, what have you. When it hit me, I knew the interpretation of the dream. And so I texted her. I said, Bonnie, I know what your dream is about. The whole family is inside the house because we're a unit and we will forever be a clan. But Dad physically left the clan, and you're seeing him in the yard in a wide open space in nature, in the spirit world, really, is what I think the outdoors meant. And he takes a little bird. And I said, "You're that little bird, Bonnie. You're his little bird. You always were." She's a very delicate and tiny little thing. As a matter of fact, we always called her Tiny Ding, D-I-N-G. Why Tiny Ding? Because when she was a newborn and she needed milk, she would cry like a bell ringing. And I said, "Listen to that. Does that sound like ding?" So we called her Tiny Ding right up until this very day. Delicate little creature, and I could imagine Dennis seeing her as his little bird. And he's caring for it and protecting it and trying to help it find its way. And I said, "Dad's watching over you, and he's telling you it's okay. You can leave there. You can step outside the box. You don't have to be afraid. I'm watching over you. I'm going to make sure you're all right." And she said that was very comforting and a very sweet way to see it. She's very science-oriented, so she doesn't go there. She doesn't go beyond the veil, we'll call it. But I've had too many experiences in life to believe that there isn't a spirit world, you know? My issue's always been the Bible and the God of the Bible. There are things that disturb me about things I've read. And then you listen to some of the near-death experiences, and very few of them ever say they saw hell. Most of them say it was a place of love and acceptance and forgiveness. Maybe, I don't know. There's so many interpretations to the Holy Bible. And I've looked at scripture before, you know, deep into the words and their meanings, their original meaning, their original language. And I think a lot of problem is interpretation, I do. And I don't know, one thing that always hits me is that we're made in God's image, His likeness. If that's true, don't we have a lot of compassion, forgiveness, tolerance? I think about the Monty Python image of God, you know, thunderbolts, and he's this big, angry Zeus type figure. I want to think of God as that gentle shepherd trying to find that lamb and bring it home. I guess that's the image of God I want to remember. And, you know, other apostles make it very confusing in their writings. Perfection, being perfect. I told you before, I am not a garden variety Christian. Sorry. And I guess I just gotta hold on to that great hymn, "Just as I am, without one plea." I'm not gonna make any excuses. Here I am, God. Totally off the wall. Occasionally irreverent. Angry. Sad. Not understanding. I don't get it. I don't get God. I don't get this world. I see it and it's like, wow, I would have been able to do better. There's the irreverent part. But you know, we have fluctuating emotions, and in a moment of anger we could do unbalanced things, unfair things. If one of our own is hurt, I want to hurt back. You know, I was ready to fly up to New Jersey and say, what the hell is the matter with you people? She's like, Mom, I don't want to relate to other people that way. I says, then let me do it. I have to get angry today with somebody. I'm going to try to keep my cool. I paid $600 for coverage on my love seat and my chair that I bought. And I sold them to those very nice people that are living in my trailer, and they're having a very hard time financially right now. And I told them, whether they straighten it out or not, I'm going to fix it. Something happened to the chair while I was still in the house renting. So that they're saying that they already fixed it and they're not fixing it again. And what they fixed was the motor, and now it's the frame. But since the motor and frame were attached together on the bottom, they're saying it's the same issue, and I think I'm going to go directly to the furniture company I bought it from and say, if you don't want another 1-star review and you don't want me with a cane outside of your business protesting, you better do something about this, because I'm angry. So, yeah, I have to contend with that today. And I just wanted to talk about the dream and about other spiritual things. You know, I had a video and I got rid of it, I think. The one about, you know, did my dead husband's spirit come and visit me? Well, I know he did, because I said to him before he died, 2 weeks before, when he said, I'm dying. If you want to get a loan to pay off your debts, do it now. I don't think I have much longer. And I didn't do it because I didn't feel right about it. I wish I would have now. Shoot. Anyway. Something's flapping over there. So what was I saying? Oh, I hate when that happens. I completely lose my train of thought. See, I don't go by script or anything, and I don't edit, so I can't go back and fix this. That's bamboo, isn't it? I can hear bamboo clicking. Sheesh. It scared the you-know-what out of me. What was I saying? Okay, I was talking about Dennis. I was talking about the spirit. Well, yes, I told him, please, if there's any way after you die that you can show me that there's life after death, I'm begging you to do it. Because you know I'm having a real hard time with my belief. He said, if I can, I will. And that morning, I'd gone to bed well past midnight because the boys just wanted to sit in the house. Michael could feel his father's spirit there, and so could I, but Denny Jr. couldn't. And that's okay. But we felt that strong, strong presence and that comforting feeling like, I'm okay, please don't. That was a rough day. Anyway, that morning, it was about 5 in the morning. It was, I don't know why all the AC units were off. There was nothing running. Maybe I felt chilly and I shut everything down. I was trying to conserve energy. I think I only had my bedroom AC on and it felt cold, so I shut it off. And I was just sitting on the love seat thinking about everything that had happened the day before and thinking about him, and he wasn't there in his chair and he wasn't gonna be, and I'm just sitting there. And I felt something really hard, blow air across my face. And I asked if it was him. I said, Denny, is that you? And then I had washed the shower down the night before. the detective had washed most of the blood down, and I said, you know, was there any, like, I didn't know what had happened, and I didn't want to ask as far as what condition was he in when you found him. I assumed the bullet would have gone clear through and out the back, but it didn't. It lodged in a bone and stayed there. And it was only blood, she said. Just blood, there's nothing else, just blood. And she rinsed down what she could, but there was still a lot. So I took the shower curtains down. I threw away the plastic. I was not going to deal with that. And they said, we can give you numbers of someone who can come in and clean this if you don't want to deal with it. And I'm like, that's my husband's blood. I'm dealing with it. And I carefully washed the shower down, every square inch I washed the shower down. And it was like a ritual. Washing and spraying and washing and spraying, and knowing that that was the last place he was. And it was spotless. I'm a good cleaner, okay? I did it for a living for how many years? Think about this one. A lot of years before he found the antique world. And he found the antique world because of being a cleaner and a junk picker. He was the best junk picker, but that's beside the point. Okay, so I clean that perfectly, okay? And the next day I wake up, go to the bathroom, there's no shower curtain up, it's all wide open, there's nothing that could have tripped, nothing. And there was a ring of blood around the drain. Like, what the hell? So I start thinking to myself, well, I rinsed it down. I'm like, maybe I missed something? Not me. But you're thinking. 2 hours later, I come back, and there it is again. Bright red ring of blood. You know what blood looks like, And I'm like, where's this coming from? So I start looking around, and I'm feeling around the drain, and I'm looking down in the drain. Drain's pretty dirty, so I get some Drano or Zeb or whatever I had, and I poured a ton of that in there. Waited half an hour, rinsed it away, and the pipe was white and clean as a whistle. You could see down in, especially because there was a break there, and you could see the great outdoors light, underneath the drain. There was like they didn't connect the pipe to the drain properly. It was like cut wrong. It's still that way, God help them. Someone's gonna fix that, and he doesn't have his tools, but that's beside the point. So cleaned out the drain, washed the blood away again. I come back. There's the blood again. This went on for at least 2 days. I'd wash the shower, because I told Dennis, I said, I need you to show me, and I need you to make it really, really clear, because you know how stubborn I am. So the girls call me, they're coming. They're coming because we all just want to be together. We've had a great loss. Rachel's driving in from Texas. Bonnie's flying in from New Jersey. And there's the blood again, and I call Michael, my son. I said, Michael, I got this situation, and I don't know what to do about it. The girls are coming. And I told him what I was experiencing. And he says, Mom, I'll come over, and I'll try to figure out what's going on. So finally, I rinse it down, and it might have happened one more time, and I said to Dennis, my late husband, I said, okay, Denny, I get it. You're here. there is life after death. Would you stop now? Because the girls are coming. And they're going to be freaked out. It's bad enough. You know, one of them had to use the shower. The other one stayed at my kid's apartment at the time. And Rachel got scared because she said she can often, you know, she's the one who's on the other side as far as the spiritual world goes. And she said, I get visions, and when someone has died in a place, I know, and it's really horrible, and I get the feelings that they felt, and she says, I'm afraid to go into the shower. I says, I can take you over to the kids, and she says, no, I'll give it a try, okay? I'll just do it. And she said she experienced nothing. There was just peace and calm and nothing else. And I felt that peace and calm too, you know. And so Dennis, definitely, the blood stopped. I never saw it again. And I almost wish that I had, because I knew his spirit was nearby. And he's got that sort of sense of humor, very irreverent and very, that is classic Dennis. Just like Bonnie said to me in her dream of Dennis holding the little bird and talking to it, she said, classic dad. Classic Dennis was to pull a stunt like that. The first one was just a loving blow across the cheek, because I think he knew how sad I was that I didn't kiss him again goodbye when he wiped my kiss off, because I had chapstick on my lips and he hated that, you know. And I think that blow on the cheek and then was, you know, his kissing me goodbye. There seems to be some sort of divide, you know. Or maybe I would have totally freaked out if he had kissed me. And maybe he just did it in the softest way he knew how. The blood, I know, was him saying, I'm here, Nikki, I'm here. What a crazy. And the last thing was that Monday. He died on a Saturday. And that Monday, I was driving home from physical therapy, and I stopped at that light, red light, and something caught my eye, and I looked up into the sky, and there was the perfect caricature of him and me. Him and me in the clouds. And we were about to kiss each other, but there was a divide. And I watched that cloud as it dissipated. And when I got home, I knew he was gone. He had to move on, and his spirit had moved on. And the house was empty, so empty feeling. I gotta go now because Bonnie's trying to call me and she might be having a crisis, and I want to talk to her. I just wanted to talk a little bit, mostly for my homies, you know, the ones who've been with me from the beginning. I love you all, and I thank you all for being here, except for the critics. So sick of the critics, but I'll deal. But thank you for any new subscribers, I think. Really, I'm torn between, do I stay or do I go? I want to stay for the ones who identify with what I'm going through, and they want to see a happy ending because they're scared about their own circumstance. Somehow I'm going to get through this, sick and everything. I'm going to come out the other side. I just feel that strongly. My intuition's saying, this is just for today. Tomorrow's going to be a better day. I don't know which tomorrow that will be, but I'm going to keep the hope in my heart that it will be. Having to deal with all this is tough, but I'm doing it. And that's it. Bye. That's my story. I'm sticking to it, Esther. Bye.